One topic of discussion on the boat was how anthropology and our project Sea Urge can engage with climate urgency and climate action at large. And this is not only to inform action, but also to engage ethically with the work we're doing. So not just scientifically, but also ethically, I think. Through ethnography, anthropology listens and learns from others about these lived experiences, about the struggles, and also about the many dilemmas that people face in their lives when it comes to climate urgency. For example, of how trees are planted to act as carbon sinks in order to mitigate climate change, but then produce water scarcity and loss of biodiversity, like for the case in Argentina. Another case is how indigenous communities deal with structural racism and the lack of territorial rights, but instead of guarding their forest and their territorial rights, they cut down the trees, hence they contribute to deforestation. That's another ethical and moral dilemma. And finally, just from our own practices as academics, how we then, traveling to the field, many times far away, but even close, and also our academic practice, everyday practices of video conferencing, emailing and all that, also contributes then to this climate urgency, the problems with climate change. That is also an ethical dilemma that I think that we face in our scientific everyday life. So we learned then that climate change, climate urgency, and the project of Sea Urge is not only about temporality, and temporalities, multiple temporalities, but also about morality and ethics that informs our work and shapes the possibilities of doing this research and engaging in action that goes beyond perhaps the mere scientific work that we're doing, which I think is really important. I think this is, of course, something that is urgent for us to act upon, but indeed, this is not without challenges, because we also have this legacy in anthropology of engaging with colonialism, for example, and hence there is a certain precaution to intervene and to take normative stances in our research. But then I think at this point in time, perhaps one can wonder when climate change and all environmental destruction, in fact, is undermining the very conditions of life, as it were, not only for ourselves and other human beings, but also of other species and elements. Maybe it becomes truly an ethical question that we need to engage in one way or the other, and perhaps even act in ways we haven't had to do before. I think that in the same way that we shared the space on the boat, we navigated these intimate spaces, these relations, learning to look for the clouds down to the sea. We can also learn how to navigate the climate crisis, as it were, and use anthropology to bridge these tensions and bringing ethics to the fore as a core part of our work.